I think I actually hate this unit. So I wind up pulling Melty within my first 50 summon. I just did the free multi just to see what I would get, and Melty showed up. Fortunately, I did want either Earth Lolly or Raccoon Girl, but instead we got Water Lolly. And I really don't know how to feel, because this unit she's not bad, it's just the way that they made it makes it bad, if you get what I'm saying. And what I mean by that is that her being in type B of Archgen is so fucking stupid. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you probably saw my rant that I did the other day talking about Archgen. I'm not really going to get into it here, but let's just say it's simple. I really wish they would just make it to where every Archgener could stack with every single Archgen, and the only Archgener that couldn't stack with each other would be themselves. So for example, Melty couldn't stack with Melty, but you'd be able to stack with everybody else, because it just hurts your game. But that's not what we're here for today. We're here to talk about Melty and talk about her kit. And I want to say that overall, she is actually pretty good. She's kind of like another version of Mako, where she's a very offensive heavy Archgening support. I do think Mako's still a little bit better though, because Mako has the healing, and she also has the reduced action speed and the increased damage and all that type of stuff. Of course, Melty has the increased damage, so she doesn't have the reduced action speed. But overall, Melty and Mako, I feel like, are pretty much the go-to offensive supports now. First ability is skill CT down when near death level 2. Her second ability is the Noble Princess. This increases her own skill resist by 50%, and it gives everybody 10% more arts damage. Pretty decent, nothing crazy. Her skill is she heals all allies HP and increases art gauge by 5, 13-second cooldown. The art gauge by 5 is to all allies as well. The normal art is 11,000% water damage magic. She increases all allies attack by 40% and autofills art gauge by 3 for 13 seconds. Pretty good right there. And then the true art is 28,000% water damage magic. Increase all allies fire resistance by 15% and damage to enemy by 50% for 15 seconds. Her slots are at max LB or 5-star magic, 5-star support, and 4-star magic. So we're going to take her probably up against the Crest Palace today. I don't really want to use her alongside Darkfin, but I probably will just for the accuracy buff. The reason for me saying that is because I feel like that she's really good alongside someone like Mako, because you can have like an uber offensive duo support. You'll always have attack up, you'll always have art damage up, right? You're always gonna have consistent art gauge, and then if you want to, you can pop Melty's true art to get the increased damage up to enemies, and it's gonna be a really fun time. And then if you don't want to pop Melty's true art, you could pop, you know, Mako's normal art and still get, you know, that same effect to go off. Now, one thing I do want to say is the damage up to enemies debuff does not stack with each other. So don't think that you can stack it like up to like 100% increased damage to enemies, because that would be stupid. You would literally be able to one-tap an enemy with like a fucking normal attack, because how stupid that debuff is. But real quick though, I do want to say some combinations to go with her. Her and Mako, I think, are pretty much the best like offensive duo in the entire game, and I use them a lot in that situation, and definitely recommend you guys using it if you have the two. Next would be Melty and a Serpa. That's like a defensive support with an offensive support. That's pretty fun in itself. It just takes a minute for everything to get going with your team depending on who you have on it, but if you have pretty fast units on it, then it's going to be perfectly fine right from the get-go. Rimuru, I'm pretty sure would be okay with Melty, but not crazy. And Finn and Darkfin, I don't really like using them too much with Melty. With all that talk out the way, let's finally get into the showcase. And here we are at the final fight. Now, of course, with her being support unit, don't really be looking at the damage that she's dealing more so. Actually, I popped that way too early, but it's fine. But don't really be looking at the damage that she's dealing. Of course, look at how much she's able to support her team. I do really wish there was a different, like, boss here, so I could do that instead with Melty, because I don't really like using this Crest Palace specifically, right? And I don't really like using it because I don't feel like this is where Melty's the strongest at against this specific boss fight. I feel like that, of course, like it's other boss fights, and hey, we paralyzed. Show him Rue, best equip in the game, baby. And you know what's scarier, right? Here's the scary part. I'm actually terrified because we're all on 1 HP. So if Thetis' barrier falls, it's fucking GG, bro. It's just GG right there. Like, who cares anymore? Like, G fucking G. Also, this should kill, not kill, but it would break her barrier, and pop this again, get our health back to an extent. And overall, like I said, I don't think she's a bad unit. It's just that the whole Archgen thing is like what hurts her the most, because it's just like, bruh, like, why would you? The more and more I think about it, the more and more I just don't agree with it as a player, or like someone who wants to get into game design. Like, limiting your player base is something that I don't like doing at all, and I don't really stand behind in most situations. So that's the only part that really bugs me about her. If you did wind up pulling her, congrats, because I definitely feel like she is a very top tier support unit. I really wish she wasn't a type B Archgen. I wish she had her own Archgen typing, so she wouldn't have to deal with this, or if the Archgen types are just not a thing, but you know how it is. Warwick will be able to kill right here with his normal art, and yep, he will. So as you can see right there, that was Melty in all of her glory. I definitely feel like she's a good unit. not bad. Probably the best offensive support right next to Mako. I still think Mako is better because I think just Mako's kit is just undefeated. The other thing is too is that Melty's slots aren't really the greatest. If she had a 5-star healing slot, she would be really good. I know whenever I first reviewed her, I said that she was kind of bad, but I was more so talking about the Archgen typing, not really her specifically. With that being said, we're just gonna have to deal with what we have, and I do think that the best support duo for her is her and Mako, which isn't really new player friendly. But if you don't have Mako, you can just use her and Finn, and you will be perfectly fine. But guys, it's gonna be it for the video, man. Thank you all for coming out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more Grand Summers content on the channel. And last but not least, man, you guys already know. Don't forget to drink the H2O.